And so our test will be on Wednesday, which is the 19th. I'm going to remind you guys to study the chart we made. Just a reminder that chart cannot be used on the test, but on the exam you can put that on your note card. So this chart right now is just great for studying. So having it out, you know, when you're looking at something else, even taking a picture of it, you know, stop playing your game for a minute and like go look at it and review it. Anytime you guys look at something again, it just gets in your memory a little bit stronger. It's something that you aren't like gonna do, like it's not like factoring just something that comes up, and it's so something you have to practice and make yourself think about. So in section 9.1 we talked about, this is where we added and subtracted polynomials, and then we wrote them in standard form. So now, on the test, it's important to note that it's not going to say add or subtract. Like, it's not going to have those words. The directions are going to be exactly what you see here. It's going to say simplify, write in standard form. So they're not going to say, hey, you need to use FOIL, or here we're adding and here we're multiplying. You guys make sure you're following along with this and not doing other stuff. So, when it says simplify, it's kind of up in the air for what you need to do. So you guys have to make a decision about what's happening. Now hopefully you don't look at example 1 and say, I'm going to FOIL that, because that would be an absolute beast to FOIL and it'd be wrong. So just noticing that plus sign between tells me I need to add. So like I said, it doesn't say it in words, but the symbols are there. So just being comfortable with, it's not going to tell you when you need to add and subtract on the test. So that's kind of one of the big things to, the directions essentially on the whole front side, I think the whole front side, will say simplify, and then the whole back side will probably say factor, like from the review that we're doing, and then on the test, kind of same idea, where they're going to be all kind of grouped together. So this first example we're adding, second one we're subtracting. Why don't you guys take a couple of minutes to do those two? terms. So we didn't even really need to distribute anything because distributing a positive really doesn't change anything. Hang on, sorry. Trying to be slick, but apparently not. So, like I said, and now it asks for standard form right away, and this is where we want to look for the highest power on the variable first. So, I'm actually going to start with this negative 3m to the 4th first, because that's the highest power. So standard form asks that you write it highest power down to the lowest. And then it's a plus 7m to the 4th. So negative 3 plus 7 will be a positive 4. So I'm writing that one first. That way we can kind of kill two birds with one stone here, that we have standard form as we're going as well. Next is that 4m to the 2nd, I believe, yeah. And then it says plus 4m to the 2nd, so that's going to be 8m to the 2nd. So remembering that when we're adding, we don't change the exponents at all. And then I'm left with a negative 5m and a positive 3m, so that's a negative 2m. And that's highest power down to lowest. Can't combine anything else, so that's just simplified. So again, the directions you see are exactly what you'll see on the test. Now example 2, what do we have to remember to do first though? Distribute. So we have to distribute like a negative 1 here. So I'm going to distribute that and rewrite it. So the first one doesn't change at all, but this becomes a minus 5x to the 3rd. And then negatives become a plus 4. As if he's losing his mind out there.
I think it's everyone needs to make a change.
I think so too. We'll work on that. I think he just, maybe we'll do would you rather outside today. You can come outside with us.
Wait, what do you mean, would you rather?
Maybe, I was trying to think of something outside we could do.
We should do it outside.
Okay. So these are the higher powers. I'm going to start with that. So negative 7, negative 5 is going to be a negative 12. And then I have 9 and 4 together. So that's going to be 13. And then I can't combine anything else. So simplify, standard form, you have to watch for the signs that they're giving you. The next one is when we started multiplying by a monomial or multiplying, multiplying with a monomial. So again, the directions aren't going to say multiply, it's just going to say simplify right in standard form. So take a minute to try these two if you can. So we're distributing in this case, and then combining like terms if possible. Please let him walk right now. Yes. Come on, roll, buddy. Put him in Ian's lap. Ian.
No.
Starting away from Ian. See what he ends up doing.
Let's just work on stopping him the turtle walks out of the class. I'm so He's just sitting there.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like he's got to get his bearings once I pick him up and like,
He just gets shirts and stay with me.
yeah.
And isn't gonna get picked up by a father doctor.
Okay.
Trying to live in a natural pregnancy.
So in this case, we should be distributing that 3a squared in if you haven't already. You're distributing that into all the terms, and in this case, there's 3 terms there. So we're distributing to all those terms. So 3 to the second times 4a to the third. 3 times 4 is 12. And then the exponents, a becomes what? A to what power? The fifth. Very good. You add those exponents here. So multiply, remind you guys that you have to add the exponents. So then I have 3 to the second times a negative 5a, so it's a negative 15. And then a to the second, a to the first is going to be a to the third. And then this negative, or 3a squared times a negative 7 is a negative 21, a to the second. And then there's no more like terms, or there are no like terms. None of those can be combined, so we just leave it that way. So our next one here, this one has a couple of different things going on. We have to distribute, but then we also have to combine like terms. So multiply that 3x into just the parentheses that's touching. This becomes a 3x to the third. Minus 3 times 5 is 15, and that'll be x squared.
You can't go through that.
You can put it on the seat. Nice fabric. All right, now this plus, we just rewrite that. Let's put that. And now we have some like terms we can put together. So that 3x to the third and x to the third is 3 and 1. 4x to the third. And then negative 15, negative 2 is a negative 17 x squared. All right, so in problems like these, being careful, we're multiplying, but then we remember that we have to combine like terms and change our rule there for that. All right, so in section 9.2 as well, we did more multiplying. This is where FOIL came in. So we have some FOIL problems here. So noticing the differences, these have 2 sets of parentheses. So that means we have to distribute in FOIL. So kind of noticing the difference between these types. Now the one down here is one of those tougher ones. It's 2 terms times 3 terms. So we're going to end up with 6 terms as we're doing this. So again, why don't you guys take a minute to try those. I'm going to start going through these. So 4n times n is 4n to the second. 4n times negative 5 is a negative 20n. Ian's getting, or sorry, positive 20n. Feet are up. He was being really rowdy today, so we let him out. And then plus 15. And then we want to combine our like terms here. So these middle two terms can go together, but remembering our rules with addition now, we just want to combine those coefficients. Yeah. I know Ian doesn't like me, so he's on the hang up with this. Hi. How are you? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
I forgot to do this for yesterday.
No, it's no big deal. I got you addicted to Amazon Prime, so.
Amazon's the best.
Seriously, I don't know how I would like live, especially now that we live like out in school, like right away from. Maybe not fun. Oh. You know, I wanted that to be negative, and then I changed my mind. Yeah, fine, thank you. Anyone else want to stop me on this one? I made that negative to start, and then I like changed my mind. 4 times a negative 5, so this would be a negative 20.
Yeah, that's what I thought it.
Yeah, speak up.
No one wants to, that's the thing.
Because I'm so scary.
That's definitely not the case. Everyone should think that.
I work on being scary every day. I'm not very good at it, I don't think.
Mrs. Wohlers thinks she's scary.
Oh, no, we have to remember. Mrs. Wohlers brought up the greatest idea. After, like, so when someone visits, like when people are behaving all the 8th graders around to learn about high school.
Yeah.
Mrs. Wohlers, after they left, Mrs. Wohlers was like, "Oh my God, I should have taken you out into the hallway and started yelling at you and like going off on you to scare them." She would have asserted so much dominance.
Yeah, so it would have been just like a dog at the dog park,
I would
right?
have enjoyed being yelled at if I got to scare little kids. Well, not little, but we're gonna call them little kids because they act like it. That would
Alright.
be great.
So, yeah, just feel free to speak up if I do something wrong. I felt like I said a negative 20 and then I changed my mind about halfway through because we were talking about something.
I think we wanted to just watch you mess up.
Right. Like to see me fail, good.
Oh,
Alright.
yeah.
Alright,
I said friends.
so 2p times 3p, then I have a plus 8p, a minus 3p, and a minus 4. And then again, in those middle two terms, those are alike, so I can put those together.
We've now learned the interest here.
I might need my shoe washed.
I think it'll be as long as you don't lick your shoe, you should be fine.
Well, jokes on you, I just got like all the kids.
Lick your shoe.
Yeah.
Shoe licker.
He draws music right going.
So in this one, we're distributing that 3y to everything. Then the 3y times the 5y. Then 3y times negative 4. Then I have to go through and do that negative 2 times everything. So this is being multiplied to all 3 as well. So as long as you stay organized on this one, it makes it pretty doable. Remember, this is also the one that I said you could use that rectangular method too. I didn't think any one of you guys really jumped on that method, but you could also do that as well. That was kind of this, where we had everything organized. If for some reason you're like, I'm just not getting this, let me know. We'll find other strategies for you guys. There's lots of different ways to do these problems. So the 3y to the third doesn't have anyone to go with here. 5y, or 15y squared minus 2y is going to be 13y squared. Negative 12, negative 10 is a negative 22y, and then just plus 8. Okay. And then we'll finish up before we take a break with section 9.3, and that's just special cases. So these are just both kind of the same thing we've been doing. They just happen to be kind of unique. Do you guys remember what's special about number 7? What do we have to remember there? That's probably the one that's probably most often missed. It has that squared, yeah, the squared on the outside. Do you guys remember what to do with this? What's that? Write it twice. Very good. Now, you know, if something's important, obviously they make a meme with it. So I'll show you guys. There's kind of an awful meme that Justine will love because it's a little bit like violent. So.
Ooh,
So we have to do this first, outer, inner, last. So we combine these like terms in the center here. They do not cancel. The big mistake students want to make with this is they want to distribute that second power in and just square each of those. So remember, we don't want to do this. This is what not to do. So that's bad. You don't want to distribute that power in. And here's my kind of, well, maybe I'll finish the last problem. I'll show you guys that. All right, so our next one here, another special case, and the reason it's a special case is exactly the same terms, just opposite sign. So this is 16e to the second plus 20e minus 20e minus 25. Now, the reason why this one's special, actually, Miss Miller was just doing this in her Algebra 2 class with her students. This is called a conjugate. It sounds like conjunctivitis or something, like something bad just happened. But this is called a conjugate. And the reason it's good is because those two will always cancel out. So we're left with 16e to the second minus 25. So that's kind of a special case that those middle terms always cancel. So, the what not to do there, I'll show you guys my,
I'm very
is
careful.
this something for violence?
yes, a little bit. What's it be doing over there? Okay.
See, Robin? Do you see the example for
I was there. I couldn't see him from there.
See if I can find it. I know it's in here.
Holy, how many files do you need?
This is for like pretty much 4 classes.
Yeah, like so every time I do a lesson, I actually save it just in case someone needs to see the final version.
What is the four?
Okay, hold it.
It didn't look like it.
All right, so here we go.
No! That's not okay.
Okay, so you have lines apparently. So,
Dogs do not die. All
so
dogs go to heaven.
all dogs go to heaven. Okay,
I'm looking
so
at Sam.
what this student did was they distributed it in there. I don't know if that's gonna let me draw in there. Distributed in here. That's the no-no. So this is the way to remember the puppy can't die. No puppy. Look at his little paw in there. Ian, he's coming for you.
That's not okay. There is a line and you crossed it.
Okay.